I'm the AFL's National Talent Manager, so in essence my job is to try and supplement the lists of clubs right around Australia to ensure that we've got around 100 players every year prepared and good enough to get up onto the AFL list, either through the national draft or through the rookie draft. So we work very closely with the states and with the AFL clubs to try and get that supply chain working.
So what do you think of the current health of the game? So how's it changing, evolving? What's the new age player kind of need to have in there?
Well, the game is tough to play at the highest level, but gee, the states are preparing them very, very well, and so are the club academies around Australia. They're making sure that very early on, from the age of 14 and 15, that they really get a handle on the requirements to play at the elite level, to have the potential then to be able to step straight into an AFL club, just like a Harris Andrews did this year. What a great year he had, and it just indicates what can be done with young talent when they're nurtured well in their development years. So I think there are many challenges around the nation for our youngsters. Many of the best youngsters are obviously fairly elite in another sport, and we want them to choose AFL as their career path, and so that is a challenge for us along the way.
And so what do you think of the talent coming through the whole of Australia at this point in time for the upcoming draft?
Well, it's going to be pretty exciting. So the date is the 24th of November. The venue this year for the draft will be across in Adelaide. It will be televised nationally as we watch the next group of players come through. I think it's terrific early. There's some wonderful young talented players available early in the draft, and then it evens right out, and we'll test 204 players over the next month. So you can see that right at the back end of that, people will have a different view about the potential of an individual, and that makes it pretty exciting, and you'll find a diamond in the rough down the back. But up front, some of the outstanding prospects, the two leading prospects appear to be a boy called Jacob Wietering, a boy that's a 195 centimetre key defender from the Dandenong Stingrays down here in the TAC Cup in Melbourne, and the other boy that's been outstanding is Josh Shackey. Now he's the son of a former Brisbane Lions player, Laurie Shackey, who won the goal kicking in a year, and he's been talked up as a prospect that may end up in Brisbane. And he's a boy of nearly 200 centimetres, a key forward. It's a magnificent kick in the mould of a Matthew Lloyd, if you like, in terms of his technique. So they're two of the stars that look to be up front in the draft. But as I mentioned, down the back there's going to be some absolute rippers. There might be another Dane Zorko that people sort of overlook initially, and then they find their way into the AFL and become stars of the game.
Looking at the Queensland competition as a whole, in both junior and senior, what do you think of that competition?
Yeah, the North East AFL I think is an emerging competition. It's wanting to be compared with the South Australian League, the West Australian League and the VFL, the second tier here in Victoria. So it's emerging and it's shaping itself. There's still some growth in it to come as yet. Of course, the other day it was the Northern Territory Thunder that won the title in the North East AFL up there in Darwin. They beat Aspley, and of course you've got some very good boys coming through the Aspley Football Club. Eric Hipwood, one of them. He's one of the exciting young players out of Queensland that's in this year's draft. He kicked 3 goals in that grand final. He's a boy that made All-Australian during the year, playing for Queensland. Plays at either end of the ground, and a left footer. He's not unlike Harris Andrews in terms of his shape and type. Lightly built youngster, but will develop. And he, along with Ben Keys, is your other young star, young gun that made All-Australian at national level during the year. So I think it's exciting times ahead. You've got an emerging state league, a fantastic substructure with your Lions Academy, and you've got some real stars on the radar of the Brisbane Lions Footy Club, no doubt.